What is up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with a quick theory craft video. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, and there's one that I've had in mind that I've wanted to talk about. We've touched on it many times, but I don't think I've ever sort of put all the information in one place, and that's what we're going to do right now, which is talking about war organization. And I get this question a lot. Jake, how do you pick targets? How does OneHive run their war? What do you do? What's your strategy going into the start of the war? And there's a lot that goes into it, but when you boil it all down, it's pretty simple. So one thing is calling bases, guys. If this is the basics of competitive wars, if you don't have a system, whether it be Clash Caller, which we actually have used for a while now, it works fine. Clash Caller, something of your own, some way to claim a base to where you can look at a base, you can scout it, you can say, I think I can 3-star this base. And everyone else knows they're not going to waste their time on it. They're not going to jump in and take your target after you're cooked an army for it. All of those things, you need to have it. Now, there needs to be a time limit on those calls. We used to do this when it was like, I don't know, we had like 6 or 8 hours, something crazy. You could hold a base, and it was not good. People just called a base and went to bed, and that's not what you want. 2, 3 hours, something like that is plenty of time to scout a base, cook an army. You can call it. You don't have to worry about anybody hitting it. But if your intentions are not to hit it, as soon as your army's ready and you're done planning your attack, then you need to let someone else that is ready, because a lot of times people will end up rushing attacks or not getting attacks in when they need to, and we'll touch on that in just a moment. And it causes problems. It's a ripple effect throughout the clan that can really frustrate people and cause a problem and have poor, quickly rushed attacks that don't really get 3 stars. So claim bases and discuss it. Help each other, whether it be on TeamSpeak and Twidla or just on Skitch and Sketch, whatever it's called. Sketch is, we haven't used it in so long, I can't remember the name of it. Some kind of drawing app, and just in maybe a GroupMe or a Bindle channel. Just help each other. Give a plan. Say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Someone might notice something that you just literally did not see and say, hey, what about this? And you're like, oh my gosh, how did I not think of that? It could be something that simple. So definitely share your plans with somebody. Get a second pair of eyes on it. Now, the next thing you need to worry about is how you attack, like as far as your town hall lineup. Start from the bottom, not the bottom of their enemy. I'm saying town hall 8s need to be getting their attacks in. If you have town hall 8s, ASAP. I would put a deadline on it for each town hall level. Something reasonable might be say, hey, all of town hall 8s have to have their attacks in the first 8 hours of war. Now, that could cause some problems if you're international, but surely you can work that out. But the bottom line is you've got to have those lower town hall levels getting their attacks in early. The reason for that is because what if you get to where you're doing a lot of your town hall 9 attacks and you've only got a few left, but yet the town hall 8s haven't cleaned up yet, and all of a sudden, oops, wait, we got to dip down and clean one of those up, and we didn't plan for that. We don't have enough attacks left for that, which means now the 10s have to dip down and clean our 9s up, and like I said, it's a ripple effect. So try your very, very, very best to get all of the lower town hall attacks in early. If you're a clan like us with nothing lower than town hall 9s, then town hall 9s need to be Johnny on the spot. As soon as the war starts, start planning attacks, start getting them in, and there needs to be a deadline. I think ours is like, I don't know, I think it's like 6 or 8 hours left in the war. So we have a lot of town hall 9s, so we have to give them a lot of time. But that at least lets people like me, low town hall 10s, know, am I going to be going up to try to take out an 11, or am I going to be needing to plan an attack to dip down? I need to know those things. So be sure that you're doing that. Be sure that you're encouraging your lower town halls to get their attacks in as quickly as possible, and maybe, again, enforce some kind of timeline to where they must get their attacks in. Obviously, life happens. Don't get all crazy about it, but it needs to be the rule of thumb to get that done. Then move your way up. Know what you need to do. Let your lower town, if you've got some 9.5s, maybe something like that, and some 8s need cleaned up, let those guys dip down and do it. That's sort of my job. If there's any 9s that need cleaned up, as a 10.5, I dip down and clean them up. If not, I go up and try a 2-star and 11. So know what your role is relative to where you are on the map. What's realistic? I'm not going to be 3-starring a lot of town hall 10s right now. That's why my job is either an 11 for a 2-star or a 3-star for a 9. So know how to assign those things and what your role is, and make sure that you aren't, holding other people up. Give your town hall 10s, give your town hall 11s as much time as you can to plan their attack. It's not fair to put a lot of pressure on them at the very, very end of war. Have to always jam their armies, things like that. Sometimes that's going to happen inevitably, but try to not make it an every war occurrence, and it's going to make your clan just run a lot smoother. The next thing that I would say is have a war general, and it doesn't always have to be the same person. You can have two or three, but let one person sort of be in charge, that's available during the war, and maybe they can, one needs to go to bed and the other one takes over type thing. And I've used this term a lot. Of people are like, what does that mean? What's a war general? And I'll explain it. What we consider a war general is someone that just directs traffic. It's as simple as maybe I get on and say, hey, am I, what's the situation? Am I going up for an 11? Am I going to have to dip down? He sort of has a feel for how many attacks are left, how many 3-stars need to be done at Town Hall 9s and below, all those things. And someone that has a good understanding of how to maximize stars, maybe even a good understanding of what people in your clan's ability level is. Don't let people that just aren't ready to be 3-star and max Town Hall 9s be thrown an attack at Town Hall 9, a max Town Hall 9. Encourage them or help them pick a base that's something they can actually 3-star. At Town Hall 9, a 2-star attack is a wasted attack. Anything below that's a wasted attack. That base is going to have to be cleaned up by somebody. No matter if it's a 98% 2-star, that someone's got to clean that up. So you need to try to waste as few attacks as possible. And if there's a base that's really hanging your 9s up, call it off limits for a while. Don't let a base absorb 5, 6, 7 attacks. That is detrimental to clearing a map. When a Town Hall 10 could easily come down probably and clean it up in one hit. If one's just really, sometimes that happens. A base is just giving you guys fits. Just call it off for a while. Don't keep throwing attacks at a base like that. Clear everything else first, and then if there's one base left that's giving you trouble, extinguish your attacks on it. And if you need a dip, you need a dip. But try to make sure that you're not just beating your head against a wall when there's a lot of other bases that maybe haven't even been attacked yet or have not been 3-starred. So be smart about it. And that's the role of a war general, is to make decisions like that, to tell people, hey, he's not like a dictator, but to encourage people to hit maybe different bases, or to help them with attacks, or again, just try to help the clan maximize their stars and have a game plan to where when it's time for the Town Hall 10s to start, okay, here it is. When it's time for maybe the 11s to start in, we need, we've got one Town Hall 11 that we couldn't 2-star. We need you to take that out, and then you guys are free to come down and try to 3-star these Town Hall 10s. And just try to keep everybody on the same page to where when someone comes on, especially these higher town halls, a lot of times we have guys come on in the last hour of war, and maybe they're not on the same page as everyone else in sort of how the war is setting up and how it's ramping up to end. And not lately, but in wars past, that has cost us just people not being on the same page. When maybe all we needed was a high percentage 2-star, and instead they're trying to 3-star and they get a low percent, and we lose on percentage. Things like that. Someone needs to have it all, the big picture in mind, and that is the war general that's gonna direct everybody. From there, it's just really, guys, that's pretty much all we do. Don't try to restrict your members on what they can hit. If they're a Town Hall 9 and they really feel they can 3-star a base, regardless of what their number is, what that number is, let them attack it. Someone that's confident in going into attack is going to be successful more times than they are if you're sort of forcing them into a thing. Oh, that's your number. You have to hit it. A lot of times there's a base I've looked at and just been like, man, I don't see this one. It doesn't feel right, Let someone else attack that base. Let them hit something they feel confident. And that's going to give you more return on your 3-stars. You're going to get more of them. You're just going to do better. Everyone's going to do better. But again, maybe that war general says, hey, no, there's too many bases that are lower. There might be 5, 6, 7 bases that have not even been attacked yet. Much, much lower for someone that he knows might not have the hero levels for that base yet, or might just not have the skill level for that base yet. Encourage them maybe to pick one a little bit more in their wheelhouse. But that's pretty much our strategy, guys. I've told you guys numerous times, I think it's very important, especially in competitive wars, for Town Hall 10s to try to 2-star those Town Hall 11s and allow 11s to come down. You want to try to make sure you have as few of dips required by your Town Hall 10s on Town Hall 9s as possible. I know that in most wars, you're going to have some, but if you only have 2 or 3, that's a big difference than 8, 9, or 10. It can really change the outcome of the war. So, really try to hammer that home that 9s need to be 3-starring those bases. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you go into an attack, someone got a 95% on, and you're planning on completely switching the attack up, ask yourself why. Because, they almost got it. Maybe just 1 or 2 mistakes that you can pick out in that attack. All you have to do is correct those mistakes, and it's a 3-star. Don't reinvent the wheel. If it's there, just take it, improve on it, and get the base cleaned up. So Guys, I hope this has helped. There's not a whole lot more to it than those few things. Call bases, make sure everyone's on the same page. Get those low town hall attacks in early, early, early. Give your higher town halls as much time as possible to plan, strategize, and get as many stars as you can. And then hopefully you win a lot more wars. Hope this helped you guys. It's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. There's no super secret strategy, but maybe there's a tip or two in there that helps you in your clan get a few more wins. Until next time, guys, Jake from OneHive doing my best to help you guys suck less.